Nigeria's acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, was full of commendation for the interministerial cooperation that is working hard to deliver the country's first ever environment-focused debt capital market product called Nigeria Green Bonds. Professor Osinbajo says the federal government is flagging off the climate change bond investment vehicle that will open the way for other private sector issuers in Nigeria.
With the issuance of this green bond, we set a benchmark for ourselves and the wider market and begin to aggregate resources around elements of our economy that seek additional funding. Issuing green bonds are also a tool to support the shift to non-oil-based assets and attract private capital to finance these assets at a challenging time for our economy. Doing this as a sovereign gives us the opportunity to lay strong foundations that serve broader markets to bonds issuance and a pipeline of projects to states.
This Green Bonds initiative looks to address at least two of Nigeria's most difficult challenges of sustainable energy and the environment. Speaking to the global shift to clean energy, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, explains how Nigeria is ramping up on its efforts at achieving the right energy mix to which the new bond will apply.
We now have an energy mix for the country, and that is important. We seek to achieve 30% of renewable energy by the year 2030. Most of that renewable energy will come from solar, it will come from biomass, it will come from all forms of sustainable energy sources that reduces our dependence on first gas, which is very prolific for delivering power, but also gives the country an energy security so that no part of the nation is able to hold the country to ransom in future.
The chief architect of the Nigeria Green Bonds is the outgoing Minister of the Environment, Mrs. Amina Mohammed, and she used this major stakeholders interface to drive home the key points she believes will make investment sense to both local and international investors.
We look to the economic nature of trees. How can we identify the top 10, just as the Ministry of Agriculture looks at some of the commodities from rice to tomatoes to the rest? How do we do that with trees? So that you give people an incentive, not just to plant the tree, but they will gain from it, so they will protect it. And then we can talk about not just stopping the desert, but we can talk about reclaiming, because this happens in plantations.
As the federal government is set to float this unique investment product, Nigeria has taken another step, keeping in line with one of the main talking points of the global community: a clean world with a clean environment, powered by clean energy.